Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, I'm here to talk about one of the most entertaining fights of recent memory for me. The fight that took place UFC Fight Night in the lightweight division between Dober and Jean Silva. But before getting started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. A couple points I want to touch on in this video. Number one, this is something that I've said time and time again. Sometimes, perhaps more often than not, and that's because there are more fight cards than there are main cards. But I find that the entertainment factor in these fight cards far surpasses some of these main cards. Not in terms of anticipation. Obviously, the anticipation for big cards that has big fighters is obviously higher. But the entertainment factor I find in just regular fight cards is far beyond what we find in those major fight cards. I'm not sure if that's due to the lack of pressure on the fighters' behalves, and perhaps it's those fighters wanting to prove themselves to get on main cards. I'm not sure what it is, but the performances on these fight nights are absolutely breathtaking. If you guys try back to all of the, let's say the fight nights this year, you're gonna find more finishes, whether that be submission or knockouts, than you have on these main cards. Sometimes these main cards are extremely anticlimactic, and the anticipation far outweighs the actual entertainment factor that we get from said main card. This fight here was spectacular, to say the least, from Jean Silva's side, that is. Specifically, highly impressed with the Brazilian. I want to talk about Jean in a second, but as of late, I want to touch on another point here. The Brazilians have been giving us some tremendous talent. I'm talking about upcoming champions, I believe, or the potential of being champions. A great example is this gentleman here, Silva. Fought at featherweight 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Super solid performance. Has an even better performance against a lightweight with an impressive stoppage against a respectable opponent in the form of Dober. I'm super stoked to see what happens next for Silva, but the Brazilians have been giving us some tremendous talent lately. Silva's definitely one of them. This guy has a interesting character, to say the least. He is super nice, to the point of, sometimes I believe it causes his opponent a bit of confusion how nice he is. There was an instant where he was trying to shake Dober's hand. I believe it was at the end of the first round or the second round, maybe? No, it was at the end of the first round, because at the end of the second round, he had Dober out on his feet. But the guy is I don't want to say contradictory character, but a character nonetheless. You see him, he's super nice and has the warmest look in his eyes. But when that bell rings, this dude turns into something else. Last night, performance from Silva had everything. Spinning back elbows. Tremendous stand-up in general. Just outclassed Dober, in all honesty. And with all respect to Dober here, but I think that the loss to a guy like Silva takes nothing away from Dober, because this guy is going to prove to himself to be one of the best fighters of the upcoming generation, and I stand behind this word. Last night's performance was one for the ages. That was a performance that is taught to the new and upcoming fighters. It's just the clinical performance. Even when Silva seemed like he was backing up, it was his form of a rope-a-dope. He was luring Drew in. And when Dober came in and was opening himself up by throwing in combinations himself, like I said, it opened Dober up to vicious attacks from the Brazilian. That's how the fight generally ended. Bad cut above one of Dober's eyebrows, which eventually caused the fight to be stopped. A clinical performance from not only a top contender, guys. I think we're looking at a future champion. Either whether that be in the featherweight division, a division which is now, I want to say, the featherweight division has the deepest amount of talent in the UFC, and perhaps the best talent in the UFC is in that featherweight division. It used to be the lightweight division. Now I really think that it's the featherweight division. It's so many names, from the Caters, the Aljamain Sterlings, to the Topurias, the Max Holloways, the Volkanovskis. Now we have the Silvas, and so on. It's a division that's ongoing. And anyone from that division that steps up to fight a guy in the lightweight, they give these lightweight guys very hard time. Obviously, last night's win was Silva over Dober. Max Holloway knocked out Justin Gaethje. Alexander Volkanovski gave the champion of the division a very hard time in their first fight. And so on. So these guys are top-tier athletes. And this dude here, Silva, I view as on top of those top-tier athletes. Super excited to see what happens for Silva in the near future, whether that be in the featherweight or the lightweight division. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and like, subscribe for more.